Hello, and welcome to this late-night edition of Local News. I'm your host, Maria McMatters. Today, we will be talking about the dramatic increase of opioid use in New Jersey. Opioids are a highly addictive, moderately powerful painkiller, making it extremely easy to get hooked on these drugs. Our journey begins with the illegal distribution and unethical prescriptions being written by doctors. One of our reporters managed to hold an interview with an alleged retired drug dealer. Here is what he had to say.
The drugs sell themselves. Oxy was my #1 seller right next to weed. You sell Oxy, people will come looking for you.
We will have more of the interview after this break. With the number of addicts and recovering addicts rising, so is the amount of money taxpayers are paying to keep these men and women in jail. It costs $48,000 to keep one person in jail for a year, and a year of drug treatment costs $28,000. Addicts are being held in prison. They are given recovery options. Those who are eligible are allowed to enter a program that will re-enter them into society.
It messed me up. I should never tried it while I was selling. It made me sloppy. Got me caught. I'm on strike 2. Another one, and I'm looking at 6-foot by 8-foot box. So no privacy. Have someone tell me what I could do each day. And I know I couldn't live like that. So I pushed myself and I shut down shop. My life didn't need to go in this direction any longer. If I had a message for anyone struggling with this drug, it would be that there is always help. There is a way out.
In 2016, there were 1,409 deaths that year alone. New Jersey is on pace to lose 8 lives a day to this epidemic.
You don't worry about the consequences. So much money in front of you and so much more to gain. You don't look back. You keep moving forward and the hustle continues. There are certain rules and unwritten laws of dealing, but you never stop selling. You stop selling, you go broke, you know what I'm saying? And I never want to go broke again.
Our state is under siege from this epidemic. More needs to be done to stop the over-issuing of prescription drugs and the trafficking of illegal drugs. This drug is hitting close to home for many families. Please be advised to keep all medicines out of reach from your children, your teenager kids, and lock them in a safe location. Opioids are highly addictive. They have been pain-killing and numbing properties.
Once you're hooked, it's over. I had a customer come to me because his doctor wouldn't sign off on meds anymore. I've had people I've gone to school with come to me for drugs, come hooked out of their minds. How much of this are you guys going to air?
Please state your name to the camera.
Melanie and Kathy.
Where are you from?
I'm from Queens, New York.
And how old are you?
I'm 21.
When was the first time you started using drugs?
I was a freshman in high school.
Okay. Were you peer pressured?
Absolutely.
Okay. What type of drug do you use?
I use marijuana.
And is that the strongest type of drug that you've ever used?
Yes, never went for anything else.
Okay. Have you ever thought about pushing it and going for something harder or stronger?
No, it never interested me.
Okay. What is your opinion on marijuana becoming legal?
I feel like there's a lot of sticky places as to where you can. Can you cut that?
Keep going.
Okay. As for the legal standpoint, I feel like a lot of states already have legalized it. So what is one more state gonna do? It's kind of one of those things that it's already been legalized somewhere else. There is no point of not having it legalized throughout the United States.
Do you feel as though marijuana is a gateway drug?
Yes.
How do you feel about the opioid epidemic in New Jersey? Have you ever used drugs before?
Yes.
When did you start using drugs?
I was probably like a freshman in high school.
What type of drugs did you start using?
I only did marijuana.
Do you think marijuana is a gateway drug?
Probably, yes.
Probably.
Can you do that again? I got nervous.
Have you ever used drugs before?
Yes.
When was the first time you started using drugs?
I was a freshman in high school.
Don't worry about me pausing. I could just cut it and then just go to the next scene and be asking you questions.
Okay.
During your childhood, were you surrounded by illegal drugs?
Yes.
Do you think that was relevant to you trying drugs?
I definitely think I had an influence, but I feel like I was the one that had the ultimate decision to say, yes, I want to, or no, I don't.
As an adult, do you feel as though you still have the need to use drugs?
No, not really, no.
Do you feel as though drugs are another way to de-stress?
I feel like depending on what drug you use and your intentions, yes, I feel like it is a way that one can de-stress.
Have you ever thought of using harder drugs?
No.
What's the hardest drug that you've ever taken?
Marijuana.
Okay. Were you peer pressured into using drugs?
Yeah. At the time, my circle of friends were all using drugs, and it was one of those things that if you were peer pressured into it, and the fact that because your close friends, your close circle of friends were using drugs, it was kind of like the cool thing. So if you didn't do it, you were considered like the outcast. So yeah, I feel peer pressure was one of those things that made me try drugs. Can you please state your name for the camera?
Michael Moran,
How old are you?
22 years old.
And where were you born?
I was born in Newark, New Jersey.
And you were raised?
I was raised in Irvington and then moved to Union.
How old were you when you moved to Irvington?
I was 3 years old.
And how old were you when you moved to Union?
I was 11 and a half.
When was the first time you used drugs?
First time I used drugs was my junior year of high school.
What did you use?
I used marijuana. I used painkillers. I ate marijuana brownies. And and Adderall.
Did you ever abuse it?
Marijuana, just to get comfortable and just to get calm. The Adderall to focus more on school. And the painkillers just to see what it was like.
Do you know anybody that sells current drugs?
Yes, I do. I have a few friends that actually sell drugs.
Have you ever tried or wanted to get into that business?
At times, it seems tempting. It's easy money. It's fast money. Especially when I don't have that much money, it does look extremely tempting. I've been asked a few times already to start selling drugs.
And what makes you take that decision of saying no?
I just look at the lifestyle of what I have to lose if I do try it.
What do you have to lose?
My life, my family, the money that I've gained, just everything. You either end up losing your life or end up going to jail for life.
Have you ever wanted to try any hard drugs?
Hard drugs is hardline drugs, like anything injected? No. Sniffed? I've already sniffed Adderall. I already know how that feeling is. You get the instant sensation of the drug hitting your bloodstream as soon as possible. But anything injection-wise, no.
If your future kids were to see this video, what is the one thing you would tell them about drugs?
There's a lot of them out there that's addicting. We don't even know what else they're going to make in the future when I do have kids. What crazy drugs are going to be out there. A lot of things are just going to be different than what it is now. And it's just going to be scary for them because I know they're going to want to try it. And there's only so much you can do to stop them or to direct them in the right direction. But I would want them to know that it's not an easy life and it's not something you should get into.
Why do you feel people, or adolescents, even children at this point, why do you feel that they fall into that world of drugs?
I feel as though they fall into the world because of just how, like, the cards they were dealt, being born into a family or having a mother who was already addicted to the drug and using them while they were pregnant with them. Like the crack babies and the heroin babies, they don't have a chance. As soon as they're born, they're just addicted to the drug as is. And they didn't even take it. And it's just people with money also. They just get bored and have nothing to do with their money, so they just start selling drugs. Start using drugs.
Thank you for your time.
I personally feel very strongly about this opioid epidemic. I have a mother who works with misplaced and runaway kids around my age, younger than me, and some of them are already addicted, some of them are already using this drug. When they found them, they were using this drug. The purpose of me making this video was just to make an awareness of drug abuse in the youth, drug abuse going on in our state. Mostly because it struck me as crazy when I found out my mom was telling me all these kids and all these people that she's working with are addicted to these drugs, and they're so young.